You're watching The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV Angela Yee, Charlamagne the God. We are The Breakfast Club. We got some special guests in the building. JD, Jermaine Dupri, and Xscape.
Hey!
Welcome, guys.
Y'all know I'm fanning out because I never seen Xscape all together like this at one time in person.
We definitely didn't expect to see you here, Candy. We was like, Candy.
Candy be busy.
Candy be busy.
Candy be too busy for the rest of the girls.
I just got back from Japan and came straight here for y'all.
Did you bring us all vibrators?
Well, no, but I could bring you one next time I see you.
Okay, no, I'm just saying Candy got her candy coated,
Body candy. Yeah.
So are you back touring with the group? Are you back touring with the group?
Yeah. That's why
Because you
we
took
here.
some time off to do some other things, and
Well, she didn't want to record an
toured.
album.
right.
Yeah, basically. We toured together all from last year to the top of the year, and then I had to do Broadway, and they did some more shows. Now I'm taping Housewives, but at the end of taping, I go straight on tour with them.
Okay. I love seeing y'all all together because I didn't know if it was going to really ever happen. Right. It was always in talks. There was all these things going on internally with people not getting along, but you guys finally worked it out. So let's talk about that because I know that's difficult.
It's a part of maturing. I think it's a part of maturing because when you're younger, you're childish. Sometimes you're self-centered. Things happen, but when you grow up and life changes, then you think about what's important.
Who was the hardest to come around and be like, come on now? Who was the hardest to talk to?
Me.
Candy.
You? She said, me.
You can. Everybody knows it's me. I'm one of those type of people. Once I get in up and I'm feeling a certain kind of way about something, I'm just like, okay, I'm good. Like I'm done.
So you wanted a public apology. Or admission of...
Yeah, I felt like it was a lot that had happened, and I felt like it kind of stayed with me, you know what I mean? And I just felt like it needed to be cleared up. But at the same time, it ended up not even mattering because nobody cared about that as much as they cared about us getting back together.
But y'all trust each other now, though.
You trust each other as far as what?
Oh, that
Just
means
in
no.
general. Exactly.
That's
That's not a difficult question.
That means no.
That's not a loaded question. Y'all trust each other.
Trust no one.
Oh, damn.
Damn.
I don't know.
I think to a certain degree. It depends on what it is. What we're dealing with. We can trust one another, And, some things we may go left, Everybody got their own lives going on. Everybody got a lot of stuff going on.
See?
Yeah, that's what we need. We needed this.
So it's more business than friendship.
Definitely.
Well, no, I would say it's both.
Gotcha.
We still.
I look at it like a family. In family, sometimes you fall out, you come together. Sometimes you don't talk for a long period of time. But at the end of the day, you always come back and say, you know what, this is what's important. So I look at us like we're family.
Like Jermaine Dupri and Bow Wow. I feel like you guys always have like your back and forth, but then y'all always come back together somehow.
What? He laughing.
This relationship with all my artists is the same.
Bow Wow's a little different, though. Bow Wow, because that's like your son. / little brother / artist. He's like all of the above.
It's just what
You not
y'all.
talk to Mike, JD.
It's just what y'all see. You know what I mean? It's not really like it ain't like that. It's just what people see. You know what I mean? It's just how people see.
You never respond to him, JD. Bow Wow Wow's out on social media all the time. You never respond. You never.
I don't even be following Bow Wow, by the way.
You don't follow Bow Wow.
He's not blocked though, is he? He's not blocked.
Yeah, why? For what? How long have I been dealing with this? You know what I'm saying? Like it's been every day of my life since he was 12 years old. Bow Wow's been the same. The dude used to come on my bus and steal my jewelry, like everything. He's been doing this.
Steal your jewelry, like
when we was on tour. When he was 12, I had my jewelry laid on my bus. He'll come off his bus and steal my jewelry and take my jewelry and run on his bus. His bus be gone. I have to wait to get my jewelry. Like he been doing that crazy stuff to me. It don't even feel like, you know what I'm saying? It's just like.
Well, he just admitted he had a drug problem.
His antics.
So he said a lot of his antics were due to drugs.
Really?
Yeah,
He said it on Twitter. Yeah.
Really?
See, that's what I'm saying. I don't be following
He
that
really
shit.
doesn't follow him.
I didn't know that. Wow.
He said he was addicted to lean, and then he said he just stopped smoking weed for the last 2 weeks. He said he stopped smoking weed.
Well, good for him. Good for him.
I'll learn something.
Now, who opens and closes on this tour?
Oh, that's
a
good
tough
question.
one.
Hey.
Look how everybody looking at me. We ain't figured it out yet. But it ain't no real everybody open and
Why
closed.
can't they giving you the side eye like, boy, he with the bullshit already.
Everybody open and closed.
And no, everybody don't close.
Right.
Yeah,
That's
for the most
impossible.
part,
He being
yeah.
too political right now.
How does everybody
We
close?
need to know.
I mean, because the closing of this show is multiple hits back to back as opposed to it being like one song. You know what I mean? And they know this because we all created this idea. I created this idea with them.
Candy look like, look, I ain't get that memo.
So what happened in like the
No,
in
you
the
had already
rehearsals?
created the idea. We just discussed what songs you were talking about.
Yeah, I
putting
mean,
in
we
these
gonna
sections.
end the show with with a bang, and it's gonna be like everybody bang at the end, as opposed to it being like, because everybody got fans, and everybody feel like everybody fans feel like each one of these songs is different. So.
Well, this is what I was saying.
Okay, Candy.
When we sat down with him, and because I don't think he really explaining it, like the way he explained it to us, like it's gonna be back-to-back #1 smashes from the top, and then we're gonna end with back-to-back #1 smashes.
That's what I just
So
said.
like the whole thing, everybody's gonna feel like they can sing along through the whole concert. It's gonna feel familiar. You're gonna feel like every hit from your childhood, from your adulthood, what made you have a baby, get married, whatever it was
sound good.
about our hits is gonna be back to back. So meaning like, for instance, it may be Jagged Edge come out with a smash that you love, and then we come right on stage and come with another smash that you love right after them.
Black people be
Oh,
late.
so nobody got sex.
No, and nobody's gonna be able to be
that's it.
late. We're
Black
gonna
people
be
be late
on
to
the
the
show
show.
Like,
together.
not no
So when,
separate, like,
when the
oh,
first
this
person step
no.
out there and there's only 5,000 people out there because black people late, you got to give them like a 30,
they'll
40
be there
minute
by the
grace
time.
period.
Okay, well, let's say this. We the females of the tour, right? Most people say women are late, but we just came off tour. We were never late. We were sold out everywhere. Hey.
I'm talking about the artists, I'm talking about the fans that come
Yeah,
in.
he's talking about the people
Oh,
that
the
come to
fans.
the show.
Okay, this is a show you do not want to be late to.
Right.
Because it's not set up for like, oh, you got your opening act. And you got,
Right.
no,
Right.
this is a show where everybody is a part of the same
It's like a greatest
performance.
hits show.
Yes. So it's going to be going like, we're going to go on and off, on and off.
Yeah, I think I read this is the first tour where every artist had a major hit and the first 20 records performed in the show are all #1 songs.
100%.
Damn.
What was the biggest song ever on So So Def as far as numbers in the whole history?
I don't know. I mean, now it's probably My Boo.
Oh, because of the challenge.
Yeah, because of the challenge. I mean, if you go on the streams, I don't know. It depends on what time of the period you was talking about. You know,
Now
It
that
wouldn't
we
be
have streaming.
crisscross?
not crisscross one. No, so there.
Oh, damn.
I was thinking Let's Get Married. I figured that record was.
Now, Candy, what made you want to be a part of this tour? Because you don't be having time for Xscape like that.
Just tell it.
Damn,
Well,
son, man.
actually, everything went really great with our tour that we had with the Great Xscape tour, and we had discussed doing another tour. This came across the table, and we just.
She trying to get that shmoney.
That's right.
She ain't turned it down. She like that shmoney.
It's a good check. I mean, come on, we all business people here.
Do you guys feel like y'all are closer now than you were before? Now that you've gone through like whatever separations you had, grown up, like you said, got more mature, have families.
For sure. Now we have a problem with one another. We'll say, listen, I ain't like that, or you want to change this, whether it's wardrobe or whatever. So yeah, I think it's a lot better.
But it's easier for everybody to walk away
Nobody's
now,
riding.
Because y'all grown, y'all got money,
Nobody's
y'all got to
riding.
put up
We
with
all
the
have our own buses.
Now I was gonna say y'all all got your own buses.
Yes.
See, they ain't fucking with each other. Y'all all got
everybody
your
has
own
families.
No. We have
Buses
families.
expensive.
All of us
Everybody
have
has
families.
Listen,
Yes.
we have written on each
Says
other's
the guy with a whole
Yeah.
car lot
Yeah.
in front of
No,
his
them
house.
buses expensive to
They
go
are.
on tour.
We have a lot of people. Like, she got her
I
own
got
family.
7 kids.
Yeah,
And
that's a whole bus right
husband.
there.
Yeah, you right. You
Everybody's
taking them
just
all,
a lot.
Tiny?
No, but I'm just
Sometimes they do
saying they
come out.
come. Some of them come. A group of them, 3 or 4.
And we have a nice little entourage too.
Yeah.
Our glam, wardrobe.
That's a lot of tour buses.
Yeah, we employing a lot of people.
How
So-
do everybody's families interact with each other too? Now that with the kids, the husbands, the
Oh, yeah, everybody's good.
See, you know what's funny about this whole thing is that people, y'all see this, y'all think this like a reunion. Like, we've seen these people all the time. Like, even we ain't doing no tour, everybody done seen each other.
I don't see you like that.
I done seen. I'm saying, like,
Do it.
especially Tiny,
see me.
especially Tiny. I be in the same room with Tiny like every damn near almost all the weeks, every time, all the time. Would be a Jeezy session, a T.I. session. It
Yeah,
can't just
he
be.
see
I
me.
mean, or Tiny just be sitting over there. You know what I mean? It's like it ain't like a reunion. Like it's like people we done seen these people around. Like you know what I mean? So
Yeah, we hang out. We've been to the strip clubs and
you
did I
would
say that?
say that.
yes. What's wrong with
First thing they said was,
Well, how did y'all
We just hang out. We have fun.
How did y'all truly repair the relationship though? Because you called Candy out and JD out and said they was messing around with each other. So how did you
me
repair
and
all
Candy
that?
sat down like two grown women.
Okay.
I went to her house. We sat down. We hadn't seen each other for like 10, 12 years.
Yeah.
And we sat down, and it was like, dang. Like,
It was emotional.
it was very emotional. It was very emotional. We both said things how we felt. You know, we got stuff off our chest, and she got her apology, and
Yeah.
Right.
then after that we talked, and it was like our conversation turned into a 4-hour conversation until it was like we were just talking about old times, and to the point now we sharing rooms on the tour.
Right.
We share everything now, so it's like
They got
now.
they got the B
Yeah.
team
Now
and
closing
then
down
A
and
team
we went
over
back.
here, you know.
No, we the 18. Everybody know we the
B
18.
team, A team.
Whatever. They
But
think
that's
they
good. I
did.
feel you
We
can't.
18, they B team.
Sometimes you have a private conversation and with something that was public, and you do want somebody to publicly clear something up because it's important to you personally. Like,
Right.
there's people that'll come to you like behind the scenes and be like, "You listen, I want to apologize or reach out," but it is important to just clear things up and be like,
Most definitely. I even talked to my sister about that a while ago. Before they even talked, I was like, you guys should talk. And then I told Candy, when we had our conversation, you guys should have that conversation outside of business.
Right.
Just as females. And when they did it, I was like, yo, what we doing?
But it
Like, what's
really
next?
wasn't a business transaction type thing.
Well, it was. I mean, it was a lot going on. I mean, I think one thing we also just left out, but you saw in the show, is like somebody was trying to steal our legacy.
But no,
our
what
group's
I'm- no,
legacy,
what I'm
and that's
saying is that
initiated us.
The thing, but that wasn't the cause of it. You know what I'm saying? Like us sitting down, I felt like the stuff that we talked about, the stuff that we got off our chest, it was bigger than business.
Oh, definitely, it was bigger than business. I feel like, you know, growing up, Tamika and I were really close. So when the whole mess happened or whatever with what she said, I think that's why I took it more to heart.
Right.
Because it came from her. You know what I mean? And we were so tight.
Who tried to steal the group's legacy?
Oh, well, somebody else, they had shopped a movie deal about our group without us being a part of it.
They were about to
didn't even
tell
know
us
us
Was it
that
Mona
was-
Scott? Wasn't Mona Scott?
No. It wasn't Mona. It was I'm not putting no names to it, but basically they did a deal with the network to do a movie about us without our knowledge.
And
when
Jermaine
we
was going to
found
give him
out,
the music.
yeah, we was mad at him.
Pretty much.
And
You was gonna get the music for real? I thought you was joking. You didn't watch the show?
I mean, you got,
No.
you know, the thing.
Stop stuttering, JD.
The thing about
Come on, tell it.
I'm saying, like, the thing about it was that I felt like, you know, like you just asked a question about why is Candy even here with this whole thing. This whole 25th anniversary is just their anniversary as well. They started So Def. They was the first group I signed. So it's like, it's just as important for them to be on this tour as it is for us to be having this tour, right? So when you talk about their legacy, they had broke up. Like, that's why I'm letting them talk to y'all right now. I don't got nothing to do with this. Whatever they disagreements was, Jermaine wasn't involved with that, right? So all I saw was the group that I signed was not kicking it no more. You know,
we get it.
No pun intended, right?
and you know, I'm looking at that. I'm thinking about legacy. I'm thinking about, you know, how quick people out here write us off anyway. I'm like, shit, if somebody want to do a movie about a group that I signed, then I'm gonna let them do the movie about the group that I signed. I'm not getting ready to, like, just be like, okay, well, y'all kill everybody off. Like, you know what I'm saying? I felt like that's what was happening. So we had to have that same conversation that she's saying that her and Tamika had. We had to have the hard conversation about why I did it and why I was trying to do it. And with that conversation, they brought all of them back, put them on tour and everything.
Was
how
it real
important
forgiveness,
communication
Candy, or
is
just
always.
business forgiveness, though?
No, I feel like it was forgiveness. It definitely was forgiveness, but then also I feel like the time of us being on tour together and we were sharing rooms on tour, like we shared dressing rooms, and so I feel like it helped us reconnect at that real bond. You know what I mean? I feel like if we would have just had the conversation and then that was that, then it may not have been able to create a real bond. But us being on tour together, seeing each other every day, you know, it was like we were able to really get back the old fun and friendship we used to have when we was kids.
What is happening with the movie now as we see the success of New Edition, Bobby Brown's story, all of that? We would love an Xscape movie. Is it happening?
It's coming.
And JD,
Yeah.
how come you
You
don't?
gonna
how
clear the
come you
music,
don't-
JD?
He better.
Yeah, I won't clear, right?
How come you don't mend the relationships with your artists? Like you like I ain't getting involved with Bow. Like you don't want to dive in and say, you know what, I'm gonna fix this because you signed
like
him?
for what? I mean, ultimately, I mean, y'all listen. Let me say this. Everybody keep talking about Bow Wow. One thing that y'all gotta realize, y'all never seen Bow Wow in no trouble. Y'all just keep talking about him on social media. I'm in Bow Wow's life 100%. You ain't seen Bow Wow go to jail. You ain't seen Bow Wow with no drug addiction. He telling y'all that. Y'all ain't seen that shit. Like, it's not, you know what I'm saying? It's not realistic, like, to me. You know what I mean? And people, I seen somebody say, because I said something about this, about the Mac Miller thing, or how people was just like, yo, that's my man. I'm like, if that's your man, you had to see him doing the drugs, right? And if you see your man doing the drugs, you're supposed to say something if you're a smart person, right? I have never seen Bow Wow do no drugs around me. And Bow Wow's never been to jail. Bow Wow ain't never got no cases beating on no women. Nothing. It's not gonna happen around me. So I'm saying I'm in his life. You know what I'm saying? I'm in their life too, but I'm saying I'm gonna let y'all hear from them the way they always, you know, that's how it's always been.
Does Xscape trust Jermaine Dupri?
Trust them.
They here. You could that they here. That means yes. They
You just said you was gonna let them talk, Jay.
I had to step in when I know. I'm saying. I'm gonna tell you.
Trust no one.
Because I'm gonna tell you, like, I was surprised. I was just as surprised. Well, y'all might not be. I was just as surprised to see these two sharing everything on the tour, probably more than anybody. Because I was shocked. Like, I went to the show. And they pulled me in their dressing room, and they was like, "This our dressing room. This how I go down and hit da 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 da." They was keeping me away from them too, and I was like, "Damn, all right, this." You know what I'm saying? And I could feel real camaraderie. It didn't feel like somebody told them, "Y'all, you guys need to do this and da da da." So you know what I mean? I feel like same thing with this. They all here. That's showing you how they feel about what we doing.
Well, we know how Candy felt, but how did you feel when you heard Tamika say that Candy slept with you and your father?
Damn, Charlamagne.
Damn.
So the currency tour, the cultural currency tour, is coming to a city near you.
Wait. So Xscape has not been here since y'all heard that old ass story.
No, and y'all never have all been here together.
Oh, okay, all right. So he gonna try to get it all out. All right.
Yeah. So we focusing on the tour right now. It's gonna be high energy, all the hits.
I think the point for Candy was that it wasn't true about Michael Malden. That was the whole point, and she wanted to make sure that rumor got squashed. So make sure that you squash it again, Candy, since he brought it back up.
Wait, what? You said make sure I squash it?
Well, yeah, just make sure you guys, just because I don't want to put it out there again, and it seems like it's.
Well, y'all did.
Right.
What?
Let it go.
Just saying that it's not true that Candy slept with Michael Malden.
That was not true.
Right,
It was
that's all. I
like
don't want that to
totally
be
like she just made that up. But it didn't have nothing to do with that now.
I didn't make it up now. It was told to me.
Who made that up?
I didn't make it up.
Oh, about to break the door before it starts.
Let's move on. Let's talk about
the tour. What's the first date of the tour? Let's go back to.
Why is it a mayonnaise bottle?
October
How we even
14th,
get
Washington,
white
D.C.
people.
Yeah.
For the white people that come in there.
A whole bottle of
Yeah, I like to
mayonnaise.
do this to piss off white people. I just hold it up there. I call them mayonnaise.
Okay, all right.
But you know
Not
what?
even the right kind.
We did
mayonnaise.
miss you about, I would say about a month ago. And I even texted you, I told you we missed you. You know, the first time I met Janet Jackson was with you, right? And I just remember back then, Janet was in the strip clubs, Janet was out and about, Janet was doing mixtapes, and it was a different Janet. And when she came, what, like 3 weeks ago?
I think so. I don't remember.
Like 3 weeks ago,
I erased that
it
memory
just
from my
wasn't
mind.
the same person. It wasn't the same. She didn't seem down to earth
Well, how long ago was that?
with JD.
Yeah.
Like 7
I don't think
years.
none of them care about this.
8
Janet's
years.
not on the social
No,
death
I'm just
toll.
telling JD. I said I missed him. And the reason I say that is people don't remember what that relationship was and how cool she was, because it was just a totally different Janet. Do you still speak to her or no?
Envy.
I seen you like her picture.
This bothers Envy, by the
It
way.
does.
I
I hit him mad times about it.
Bobby he hit me bad. He hit me up about this. This really bothers you. I mean, yeah, we cool. It's all good. It's all good. I mean, it's a JD touch, man. When I touch somebody, they touched, man. I'm like a reverend.
How do y'all feel about that
Don't take me to that church. I'm
How
good.
y'all feel about that statement, Xscape? How y'all feel about that statement?
What statement?
That when he touches somebody, it's like a reverend. You ever felt the healing from JD?
My goodness.
In music, we'll give him that. We'll give him that.
I'm saying, you know how many millionaires I made?
That's a fact.
I'm just saying.
What about Kyle?
Call me lottery.
Is Kyle gonna be on this tour?
Of course.
Which lottery?
Listen, I do want to say this without all jokes aside. This is, what black people should pay attention to is that this is a tour that probably I would say nobody else has ever done this before. This is we have all the groups, every artist that was ever signed to So So Def is on this tour. They're alive. They out here, they happy, and they going on the road. This ain't happened with Bad Boy. This ain't happened with Def Row. This ain't happened with Def Jam. This ain't happened with no label. So So Def is the only label that's got all of the artists, not even Motown.
I thought Bow Wow said he's not doing it.
Come on, man.
Oh gosh.
Cut it out. Stop. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying cut it out, man. You go to his page right now. What? It's the first thing on top. It's pinned to the top of his page.
Oh, got you.
Yeah, go right now.
So you saw when he said that, though.
I mean, listen, like I said.
He doesn't follow him.
He doesn't follow Bow Wow.
I went to see if it was on his page when he said it. It's pinned to the top of his page.
That was the Bow Wow challenge.
Bow Wow challenge.
That was the Bow Wow challenge.
Are y'all doing new music or new album together?
All four?
No.
Well, we have an EP out called Here For It, Tiny, myself, and Latasha. So
Candy's she's doing music.
Yeah, she's doing music too.
Oh, I do music. Yeah.
I do music. We know you do music. She's doing solo music.
Why is Candy so against doing new music with Xscape?
Well, no, I mean, I feel like for me, it's just like a thing of like, I really enjoy performing with my group members, and I feel like, but at this day and age, at this age, I just want to be able to do whatever I want to do, and just business-wise, I like to be in control of my own situation. When you're doing business with 4 different people and 4 different...
You got to split it. 25, 25,
It's not even that. It's not even about split. It's just everybody has their own mindset of how they want to handle business, and it's like the more and more stuff you do together, it's just kind of like, okay. When you're doing a tour, it's like, okay, we're doing this tour, we're going to make it happen, and the fans are loving it. We there for the fans. We get to enjoy the fans, and all that is awesome. You know what I mean? But as far as, I just feel like...
It just seemed like it would make sense since y'all all on the road together. Why not?
Well, see, I like her answer. She had a different answer that I heard, you know what I mean?
But you heard, JD.
Yeah, I heard a different answer. The different answer that was that you felt like the music and the artists and where y'all are as a group, you didn't want to tarnish the success of success.
Well, that's success. I mean, to me, it's like back in the day, we sold multi-platinum records or whatever, right? And it's not the same as it was then. You get what I'm saying? Now is a totally different way that people selling records. And I don't know if it will ever be back the same as it once was as far as having multiple platinum hits, you know what I mean?
So I thought
in
that
my
was
mind, I feel like, why tarnish that?
Right.
You know what I mean? You on top, you know what I mean? Why put out a record that may be kind of like, man.
It's like a ball player coming back to play after his...
when y'all saw Jordan and he didn't dunk that time, right? How you felt?
But
But I mean, at the same time,
damn, she ain't got no faith in y'all making no hits, man.
Now you try to turn it into
never
something
predicated
else.
on sound like
You try to
what
turn
we
it into
sold.
something
When we
else.
first came out, it was never predicated on how many records we're gonna sell. We just did it because of the love, and then things happened. We blew up. Everything happened for us, and it was a blessing. So now I would hate to put that type of stigma. Oh, I can't sell no records. I don't want to live my life that way. I want to be able to do what I love, and if people embrace it, they embrace it. You know what I'm saying? Because that to me is success.
Because if you do a solo record and they don't embrace it, it's still kind
That's a
of
fact.
the same thing.
Right, but at least with that situation, it's like if it's not... Either way, it's like if it's not going to be something that's going to smash what you've done before, you might as well do something brand new, totally different, and just have fun with it and be able to be in control of what you're doing. It's like when you have 4 people, you got to get 4 people on the same page creatively and business-wise.
But it was actually
and we
easy
don't
when
always
we
see
did
the
it.
same page.
It was real easy when we did it. We witnessed it.
When you did the EP?
Yeah, it was real easy. We wrote, we went in, we recorded. It was
See,
easy.
I see what Candy's saying, though, because it is hard, because those records all mean something to us. Like, that was a time.
Have you heard Memory Lane?
No.
You need to check it out. That's our new single. It's bad.
I'm going to check it out. I haven't heard it.
Yeah.
But all those records mean, like, Just Kicking It. I can remember where I was when I first heard Just Kicking It. You know what I'm saying? So those records mean something.
It's a whole new generation.
Yeah, we can't. Certain songs don't fit our age. Now we are singing about relationships. We weren't in a real relationship back then. Now we saying some real conscious grown folk stuff. We talking that real grown stuff.
We were talking grown stuff now.
We were talking nasty. I didn't even half the songs we were singing. Girl, I was like, I bet you can't hang. When I got older, I was like, oh, that's what we were singing about? I didn't know half the stuff. I didn't know Jermaine wrote. Half of that song, I did not. Half of that stuff Jermaine wrote.
I ain't gonna let you get off on
No,
that.
I'm saying certain songs. Whatever, I can speak for myself. Both of y'all. Anyway.
Lady.
But what I'm saying is certain things did not mean what it means to me now.
Right.
It has more meaning to Tamika Scott now than it did back then. Right. I went into it then like I am now.
You was hot though.
I think that's what I'm saying.
Hot, baby. I'm still hot, baby. I'm still hot, mama, baby. That ain't going nowhere.
You had big
She's a
girls.
hot body.
You had
baby.
men coming, knocking on your door, coming traveling from city to city. Come on now.
Tiny, did you hear when Brisha Webb was
Putting you on
upset?
blast.
No, don't do that. Come on, B. Come on, don't do that. What nobody heard on my
You on blast.
You got that comeback. That's okay.
See, like, listen, let me explain something to you. Let me explain
Come
something
on,
to you.
come on, y'all. Now, hush.
see,
Leave me alone now. I'm trying to be good in this. I'm
Hold
trying to be
on,
good.
look.
Y'all gonna make the beats come out. Y'all better hush.
So, Envy, you want the answer to your question?
I got it.
This is the answer to your question. This is why I don't get involved with
I
this.
see.
Because we family.
This
We can
been
do
going
if he got involved, we ain't gonna do
This
that. We'll
been
beat him
going
up.
on since I signed
Get
him.
off, Tiny. Get off, Tamika.
But JD, you don't think you could write? You could write Xscape a hit in 2018. I
Of
think
course,
you could.
I'm never. What you talking about? Me saying I'm not. I just agree with what she's saying. I think that I feel bad for artists that put out brand new albums and they go do some of them songs and the crowd sitting down and then they can't wait until they put up they old records.
But you working on a new Usher album right now.
I mean, what does that mean?
So Usher can't top the stuff he did prior?
No, you talk like once again. You're talking to a Hall of Fame writer. I'm not these regular other guys that you be talking to. That don't happen with me. I'm not talking about that. I'm just saying I understand what she's saying. I'm not tripping on the time. The times don't matter to me. It's the easiest time in the world to make hit records right now.
But you saying you can do it, but you don't know about everybody else.
Huh?
You saying you can pull it out, but you don't know about everybody else. Is that what you're saying?
You said what?
That's you heard her.
She's saying
You heard what I said.
No, I'm not saying that. No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I understand that mindset because you do have to think about that. I think that's the same thing I was saying to y'all about the movie and the whatever was the documentary or whatever it was. I feel like you have to. The one thing I found out about getting to this space in life 25 years is that you have to protect your legacy. And protecting your legacy is damn near as hard as writing a hit record to get to the legacy. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, people will try all kind of shit to just, like, say whatever. They going to discredit you, this, that, and the third. But you got to continue to keep protecting it. So I'm saying you have to watch out and say, yo, if we going to make a record, let's understand how big we are. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Understanding Just Kicking It off their first album, these is #1 records immediately, right? That's what I'm saying about this tour. It's just like to make sure everybody understand that. Like, yeah, the first 10 records on this show. When the last time y'all been to a concert where the first 10 records was all #1 records? I'm not talking about like good songs and creditable to the culture. I'm talking about like 6ix9ine be saying on Billboard, #1 records on Billboard. That you ain't been to no show like that. You know what I'm saying? Even like Jay-Z and Beyonce, I went to their show. They first 10 songs ain't all #1 records. They hits to us as a culture. But I'm saying let's talk like the way people talking in 2018. I'm talking about Billboard, #1.
But you guys did the EP with the intention of we just love doing music and we're not putting the pressure of saying this has to be a platinum album.
We've never done that before. We never put the
To the mic.
We've never, but go ahead.
We've never been independent either. We've never like done it on our own. We've always had a label behind us, so it's a bit different too.
Did you like it, the whole process of this?
Process went great, actually. We did 6 songs in like 6 nights.
Did y'all miss Candy?
You so messy. No, they didn't miss me. And
but listen, since I'm a visionary person, I like what they doing though, because you know I think that I mean, you know, everybody could take a page from like the New Edition book, right? New Edition, when BBD went and did what BBD did, who was tripping about them not being with New Edition, right? You know what I'm saying? I feel like all groups, if you get a chance to and the opportunity to do that, what New Edition did, it's no way you should sit back and not do it. I mean, every one of them dudes went and made solo albums and they all got paid.
Yeah, hits
right.
though.
And then with that being said,
yeah, I mean, but I'm saying that's part of the process. But I'm saying at the same time, when you're in a space where you can do that, you know what I'm saying? I'm just happy to see that, Xscape is a group that lasted this long and they all got these different, branches and this, that, and the third to pull it together and try to do it like this. I think that's the part that, people they pay so much attention to the group breaking up. But I'm saying if you can do multiple things in this world right now and still come back together and do what we about to do on this tour, that's the life that you're supposed to live right now. That's what y'all do. Y'all work at different places. Right. Mm-hmm. Candy selling dildos. They got
hey, they're vibrators.
Trying to bring it down today. Let's be clear now. This is a multi-million-dollar business. We got thousands of bedroom candy consultants across the country. It's not about a dildo. We got all kind of stuff we sell.
Okay,
but you can go get that at bedroomcandy.com. Thank you.
What's the number one bedroom selling piece though?
Oh, we have Candy Kisses vibrator. It is a smaller vibrator, but we also have like all kind of bath and body products that sell like crazy. So like, let's not get twisted.
Anyway, I said, you see what I'm saying?
I agree with you on this. What I feel is this: it's like I feel like you need to constantly reinvent yourself, right? So to me, I feel like them reinventing themselves and making Xscape 3 is dope. Everybody can go on and do their own thing and still do the group performances or whatever New Edition does, and nobody has a problem with it. So I don't understand why people be constantly questioning us because it's not, the Xscape as we started out. Right. You know what I mean? Like, let everybody do their own thing, and when we want to do shows, we do shows, and when we want to do other things, we do other things.
And we support each other wholeheartedly on everything we're doing. Everybody's got their own thing. Your daughter's, her nails, her fingernail polish, Maid Girl, my daughter, Young Naya rapping. Candy's, I totally support.
Bedroom Candy and my
So
restaurant.
we all support each other, like, for real.
I know
we support each other.
But when's the last time y'all got into a tussle? Because it seems like y'all got into a tussle at least one time in the tour.
Let me tell you.
No tussles.
It's going to be in the movie. It's going to be in the movie.
How do y'all preserve the legacy? JD touched on it a little bit, but how do y'all feel like y'all preserve y'all legacy?
I say staying relevant. Still doing what we're doing now. We're 25 years later. That's how you do it. You don't stop. You keep it moving.
I think we went to doing TV and, just doing other things where people can get to know us and see us in different lights. And then they do this, and then their mother tells them, because it's like a lot of young kids that watch TV, watched our shows, and, from there, the parents let them know, oh, these girls sing, and, and it just grows. Just grew, because at our tour we had ages from like 7 to 70
singing all the words. That was amazing.
How do you think they preserve their legacy, JD?
Just doing this. I mean, I think it's important that people see them back together and like I said, just showing the camaraderie. At the same time, this is Xscape from day one. They all been talking over each other. It's not like they just doing this now because each person, they been this way. You know what I mean? It's a fun activity, but at the same time, like I said, I feel like they had to come back and let people see them sing and hear them sing. And if you haven't heard them sing at this age that they singing right now, you should come see this.
SoSoDeaf.com. Get your tickets on SoSoDeaf.com for this
tour. Telling me.
Or you can go to Ticketmaster.com. Telling y'all, it's going to be a concert to remember.
I'm going to say the same thing I was saying back when I first signed them. It's no group out, females, that sound like this group right now to this day. Today, right now,
without no music.
Today, right now, that can sing with no beat. We ain't talking about no auto-tune, none of that shit y'all be talking about. They will get on stage and sing your ass up under this desk right now, right? With that being said, that's what people have to see. I seen last night they're going to start an Xscape challenge on Instagram where girls are actually singing multiple Xscape songs. This is 25 years later.
Right.
That's what preserves their whole legacy. If they gotta see them perform. That's what they best at.
Well, tickets are on sale right now, October 14th. It kicks off in Washington D.C. Get your tickets at Ticketmaster locations. And we appreciate you guys for joining us.
Thank you for having us. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's right. It's Xscape. It's Jermaine Dupri.
One.
It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning.